We're jumping straight into a pretty dense set of sources today, all focused around accelerated capital growth and building a legacy, specifically through the lens of Honorable Pal Ji Maharaj. Our goal here is to really unpack the structure of this system they propose and, what it actually asks of people involved.
Yeah, and the sources kick things off by setting up the problem, what they term invisible erosion. Basically, the idea that the cost of living creeps up relentlessly. So just saving money, it doesn't really cut it anymore. You actually fall behind.
Right. It's like treading water, but the current's getting stronger.
Yeah.
So the proposed solution is this thing called Fomsewaka. That's the future of money Siwa cryptocurrencies assets. It sounds quite grand.
It does. And it's presented initially as an ethical approach, focused on Sia that's serving eternally without acknowledgement and collective prosperity. A win-win-win idea.
Okay, but here's where it gets interesting, I think. How does that square with the very strict financial and participation rules we see laid out later? That's the tension.
Right, yeah. Exactly. That's the core of it. The protocol is described as legal, moral, non-speculative, aiming for stability. They mention proprietary tech like the Eternal Value Protocol, or EVP.
EVP, okay.
But here's the catch. The workings of this EVP, it's proprietary, it's kept internal, only shared with people who go through the training.
Easily.
Precisely. And that leads straight into the commitment required before you even get deep into the financial side. It's structured as the 3-2-1 system.
Yes, the 3-2-1. Let's break that down. It's 3 hours coaching first.
Right, for clarity. Then 2 days of training on the actual mechanics.
Okay.
And finally, a full 1-week boot camp. That's for hands-on immersion, getting tangible results, they say. It's quite intensive.
Wow, yeah, that's a significant time investment before you're even fully operational.
And that structured training is the gateway to the next layer, the 5 rules of participation. These aren't suggestions. They're presented as crucial for the whole ecosystem to work.
Mandatory rules. And the sources seem to really emphasize 2 of them.
Everyone must invest, and they actually give a specific figure.
US $30,000. That's positioned as the strategic starting point to unlock the potential they talk about.
Correct. That's the initial financial commitment. Then comes the second major rule. Everyone must promote, market, and sell.
Okay, promote and sell. Now, the sources are quite insistent. This isn't like a typical MLM, right?
They are very clear on that distinction. They frame it as a collaborative, ethical effort where your promotional work directly fuels the growth that benefits everyone involved, including you. It seems designed to internalize the growth engine. Instead of relying only on external marketing, every participant becomes a driver. It sort of connects the SIBA idea, the service aspect, back to the practical need for expansion.
Interesting framing. So let's talk potential outcomes. The sources paint a picture of nonlinear possibilities. They give examples, like that initial US $30,000.
Yes, potentially expanding 5-fold is the example given, to US $150,000.
And it doesn't stop there. They illustrate a next step where, say, US $120,000 of that could then be repositioned
to potentially grow 6-fold, reaching US $720,000. And they suggest this paves the way towards figures like US $3 million or more.
Okay, but we need to stress this heavily. These are illustrative projections, not guarantees.
Absolutely critical point. The sources themselves tie this potential directly to active strategic participation and sticking rigorously to those 5 rules. They do mention a no loss for anyone principle, but it's explicitly conditional on informed participation and commitment. It's not passive.
Right. So wrapping this up, what's the big picture here? The Fomsewaka protocol seems like a highly structured, almost demanding ecosystem.
It is. It relies on these proprietary asset mechanics, demands significant training up front, and requires that collective buy-in, both the initial capital and the ongoing promotion and selling.
So for you, the listener, hopefully this deep dive cuts through some noise. It gives you the blueprint. Achieving those potentially accelerated results demands a serious trade-off.
Time, significant initial money, and a real commitment to actively growing the system itself. It's not just about investing. It's about participating fully in sales and marketing too.
Which brings us to our final thought. The sources start by talking about invisible erosion, inflation, eating away at your money's value. They argue it shouldn't dictate your future. So the question becomes, if money's value is eroding, what trade-off in terms of your time, your capital, and your willingness to commit to this kind of mandatory collective effort, what trade-off are you willing to make to chase stability or growth through a model like this, one that's designed to be intentionally nonlinear? Something to consider.